Okay, so it's 3 a.m. right now, as you can see. Right over here, it's gonna be 3 a.m. I have been working on this exact desk every single day for the past 5 to 6 days, non-stop, from 9 a.m. to 3 a.m. Like, I'm telling you guys, I've been sitting on this very desk with my computer, my work, my calendar, my tasks, just absolutely grinding it out. Like, I have a headache right now. I have to go to sleep, but I wanted to film this video because this is the side of entrepreneurship that nobody sees. And it's easy to say that, like, I've been like staying up here and like working or whatever, because that's like what people say about entrepreneurship, but the feeling and the mental drainess is just undescribable. I can tell you guys, I'm feeling a million things right now, and I am yet just so desensitized to it. And yet it's an undescribable feeling, but it's also something that nobody will be able to ever understand until you put yourself in these shoes. I literally came back from Bali like a week ago. Since then, I have been doing non-stop work. I was on vacation back then. I had my first 6K month, and now we're heading into the month of August, and I am prioritizing everything but getting a better income right now, because that's what a real business needs. And sometimes you need to put yourself in those shoes to focus on actually doing the hard work that's required without getting paid. From the get-go, that's what entrepreneurship is. I was doing that for the longest time, and now I'm doing the same thing. It's just at a different scale. Because back then I would do it for like $50 a month, and now I'm doing it after having my first 6K month cash collected, and yet I have so many things to deal with. It's just like undescribable, like the overwhelmingness that this journey brings you is not only draining, but it's also very empowering in some weird way. Like, it's funny, these past few days I physically haven't been able to sleep before 3 a.m. The best way I can describe it is I have just been severely obsessed with working. Like, I have been severely obsessed with working. It was Mother's Day today. I went out to the temple with my mom, and I was trying my best to like stay in the moment, but I'm gonna try and find a picture of my face, but I was so dead focused and daydreaming on the next thing I had to do in my business. And every single tiny little second of free time I had, whether that was like me going to the bathroom or whatever, I just took that opportunity to go on my phone and check up on my work and check up on things I had to do and check up on things that maybe I could complete in the moment. And even on like the car ride there and back, like that's all I was focusing on. When I went to dinner with my mom, like I told her, hey, I probably only have like 20-30 minutes and then I have to get back to work. And she's like, okay, which is funny because she doesn't even know what I do. She just knows that I work hard and like that's it. And yeah, that's kind of what it is that nobody really knows what you're doing. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, nobody knows what you're doing. Nobody around me knows that I'm staying up till 3 a.m. every night, just going over every single tiny little thing within my operations and within my business that I have to optimize, fix, improve, or like look at, you know. And it's just like an undescribable feeling, but the one thing I can say is that these are the nights that nobody sees about entrepreneurship. And these are yet the most empowering nights, and these are the only nights that are able to form you into an entrepreneur who's genuinely worth being an entrepreneur, and being an entrepreneur worth lasting being an entrepreneur worth creating generational wealth, and being an entrepreneur that God determines you as deserving of generational wealth. The funny thing about this is, as I am sitting here and I'm working on my business, the harder I work and the more I suffer, the closer I get to God. Like, it's funny because the more I have worked every single night, the more I have thought about God and how this is the process that God has to put me through in order for me to actually build that long-term vision and bringing it into a reality. Like, this is what is required. And these nights are never gonna stop. These nights are never gonna stop. It's just gonna be at a different scale. And the amount of stress tolerance that you need to have in order to handle this, the best way I can put it in a way where I can also frame the power and the beauty that I see behind this, is the fact that I know nobody else around me would be able to handle the position that I'm in right now. And the amount of stress that I'm able to take in and control and manage, no matter how I feel, is a level of resilience that can only be found in people who are genuinely meant for great things, and that God has deemed as deserving of generational wealth. And I truly always try and find that origin of power every time that I am finding myself stressed or I'm finding myself struggling in any way. It's just being able to understand that this is the stress tolerance that you need to be able to handle, and these are the nights that you need to be able to handle to be deserving of this. Because people out there who only want the quick cash and who are not able to handle these nights will never get it. So the fact that you are able to do that is the one thing that will genuinely make you successful, and that is the one thing that I have taught myself to absolutely suck up and control and manage effectively, so that I can continue working and that I can continue to do what needs to be done. That's the kind of mental resilience that you need as an entrepreneur, is just being able to suck up all the stress, suck up all the problems, and just focus on finding a solution, no matter how mentally draining it is, and no matter how late it is, no matter how tired you are, no matter how confused, lost you are in any way. That's the kind of mindset that you need as an entrepreneur to find success. And it's funny because everybody likes to see the lifestyle of entrepreneurship. Everybody likes to see, the cool penthouses, the cool travels and everything, but nobody is able to handle the one and only source that will be able to actually fund that. And that one and only source comes down to these nights that nobody sees, where you are tired, where you are drained, where you are lost, where everything is not working out, and where you have no choice but to mentally drain yourself to make this work no matter what. Those are the kind of nights that nobody sees, and those are the kind of nights that every entrepreneur needs to go through in order to actually find success. And at the same time, I've found myself to obsess over these nights and obsess over going through it, because I see the power in it. And being able to have that mental framework as an entrepreneur will be able to get you through these phases in such a powerful way, where you come out of it knowing that you did what needed to be done. It's literally like going through the trenches. That's what needs to be done as an entrepreneur. You need to go to literal mental war with yourself. It's not even about making money. It's not even about building a rich lifestyle. It's literally about going to war with yourself. And it's about doing things that you never thought you were capable of. It's about going beyond your abilities to make this work. And nothing is more powerful than your mental resilience as an entrepreneur. And as much as I would wish to continue working right now, as much as I have a headache right now, you obviously cannot turn up as a zombie for 5 days straight. Like, you need to live, so go get that sleep. But you also got to understand, as like unhealthy as it is, you have to go through this. You absolutely, it's needed for you to go through this. It's needed for you to experience this level of pain and overwhelmingness and confusion in the most gut-wrenching way ever and the most mentally torturing way ever. And it's funny that I'm using all these words and yet I look so like straightforward, and that's because I've been able to desensitize myself to it so much. And the best part about it is I know for a fact that there is growth that has been done, because the version of me even 3 months ago would have started breaking down. And the fact that I'm able to now handle it in such a straightforward way, and understanding that there is such a big power behind this and I simply need to view it that way in order to continue going. That's the one thing that's been able to show me that I've truly grown through this journey of entrepreneurship. I did not grow by making 6K last month. I've grown by not caring about income, because I'm prioritizing these nights of absolute confusion and pain so that I can build that foundation even stronger and get better fruits of my labor in the next phase, where I can actually do that. There are phases in entrepreneurship where you will get results. There are phases in entrepreneurship where you will have these moments, where you will have these nights where you are just required to put in the work. And these are the nights that nobody will ever be able to see truly and experience truly, to be able to understand what it's like to actually be an entrepreneur. And I also want to say that it's absolutely beautiful that you are able to experience that as an entrepreneur, because the journey of self-development that comes with it is a journey that genuinely brings you so much closer to yourself, because apart from God, you have absolutely nobody but yourself. When you are in these phases of absolute trenching, when you're in these phases where you're trying to figure everything out, or you're trying to fix things in the beginning that are just not working out, you have nobody but yourself, and you have nobody to rely on but yourself. So with that, you have nobody to work with but yourself. Therefore, you need to have that bond, and you need to develop that level of trust in knowing that you will figure it out no matter what. And that can only be done by mentally torturing yourself in these moments to prove to yourself that you are able to handle things like these no matter what. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse as I continue to grow my business. I'm only going to have bigger problems. My problems before were like having to sustain a $50 per month client. Now it's about sustaining 6K a month and growing even further, right? So that alone showcases the growth. And the way I'm handling this current situation, I can tell you guys, I'm like absolutely mentally drained right now. The way that I'm handling this situation with such logic and with such next step mindset framework has shown that I've been able to personally grow in logically navigating through things so that I can just find a solution. Right, so I'm not even sure if what I said makes sense. Like, my brain is not even functioning right now. I'm just trying to document the real side of it, because this is the real side of it. And it's the real side of it that nobody wants to experience. But at the same time, it's also the side of entrepreneurship that you need and that you're required to go through if you truly want to make this long lasting. And I know that in my case, this is exactly what I'm ready to continue growing through, because I know that what I want is on the other side of it. And I promised myself that I would go out of my way to make sure that it happens no matter what. Whether that's required to be done through going through nights like this continuously over and over again, or something even worse, you simply have to go through it as an entrepreneur. But yeah, anyways, my mind is like absolutely rotten right now. I'm just not thinking straight, so I'm gonna need to go to sleep. And yeah, like I'm just ready to get back at it tomorrow. I'm really just focused on like doing the work that's necessary. I'm happy that I had like made 6K last month, but I want to be able to continue humbling myself and knowing that not everything is perfect, not everything is sustainable, and I'm simply required to continue working no matter what. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm gonna head to bed right now. But if you're watching this video and if like you're even Meva from the future, just know that like the life that you're living right now, the life that you are able to enjoy, has been created in this very moment where I'm going out of my way to create that future that you are currently living, and being able to document the process so that you can look back on this. This is what I need to go through, and I cannot wait to see the life that will be able to get manifested on the other side of this, because I know that I deserve it, and I will go out of my way to make sure that I deserve it no matter what. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how many more sleepless nights I have to be. I don't care if I have to end up like a zombie. That's what you need as an entrepreneur. And if you can see the power on the other side of this pain, and understanding that this is the origin of the dream life that you want, and that you are in the process of creating the dream life that you want by enduring pain, if you're able to frame it that way, and understanding that, plus the fact that you being able to handle this level of stress, this level of misery, this level of confusion, is the one thing that nobody else will ever be able to do. And that's why you will be getting everything that you dream of, and nobody else will. That's the kind of mindset that you need. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed, but that's just a message that I really wanted to document and put on here on this channel, because I know it's going to be very meaningful. I don't know when I'm going to look back on this, but I know it's going to be very meaningful, and I'm going to continue to keep documenting and being truthful about things like this, because this is what entrepreneurship is, guys. This is what it is. It's 3:15. It's 3:13. So I'm going to go to bed, but as always, I'll see you in the next one. Good night.